I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Also want to give double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of Yasharahla, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Akim out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, preaching and prophesying through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in truth and sincerity, as well as the men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations, but are of the nation of Israel and their father's side by blood. And I wanted to get into a lesson. I was trying to find, certain precepts, but kind of landed with these through the Spirit. Um, just dealing with well, now that I'm thinking about it, the word conduct. I could have searched that word, but I mean, we'll see what the Spirit permits. But just dealing in conduct, just being having this truth in you and not on you, you know, as the brother likes to say here, and you with that you'll be looking for opportunities. The Lord will give you these opportunities to prove yourself, to prove your work, all right, to prove that you're in the faith, as it says in Corinthians. Examine thyself that thou be in the faith, meaning really look at closely, scrutinize, really test it out, and it's. I'll put it like this: when you look at like a countertop, right? You can look, okay, yeah, it looks clean, but it's a reason why when health inspectors or somebody who's checking to see if something is clean, they put on the white gloves and they wipe their finger across and make sure that it's clean. That's how we supposed to do unto ourselves. All right. Now we're striving for perfection, but a way to strive for perfection is to slow down in every moment. Um, it is to try to capitalize on those opportunities. If brothers come in town and um, younger, brothers come in town, you got guests in town and everything, and to show them that hospitality, man. You know, to show them hospitality. All right, especially being within this faith, because it shows that we don't have like a nigga mentality. You know, like Southern, that's part of what they call it, Southern hospitality. Salakia, let me slow down a little bit. They call it Southern hospitality. So down south, it's pretty common, but it's not common all around the world. All right. But in this truth, hey, we read about how when the angels went to, I forget exactly who it was, but to the man in Sodom, he showed them hospitality. When the angels came up to Abraham, he showed them hospitality. When it came to Tobias and Tobit dealing with the angel and, thinking whoever he was, they dealt with him according to the scriptures. They made sure that their conduct was good in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. It ain't just, oh, well, shoot, we'll just give him a little bit. No, man. He got his son there safely, fulfilled the mission, and brought him back safely. Yeah, come on, let's give him a little more. That's capitalizing on an opportunity. So, and the thing, like the brother said, they gotta be in you and not on you. Honestly, I don't know if that's what the brother came up with, if that's a saying or whatnot, but it's pretty truthful, man. You know, when you have these missed opportunities, it'll bother you. All right, it's just like through when we go off, because we can't keep the law perfect. When we realize we messed up somewhere here and there, you know, it pisses us off, man, because we want to do right in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. So like this truth, it can't be situational. You can't pick and choose when you want to do it and when you don't want to do it. All right. So we'll go over here to Galatians. I was going to read all of that, but I'm going to start down at 4. This is Galatians 6:4. When you read up above, it speaks about bearing one another's burden, which you help brothers out. We ain't in this fight alone, and you don't want to fight this fight alone, man. You know? Dang, that's a kind of a beautiful title too. You don't want to fight this fight alone because we battling against principalities and wickedness in high places, roughly paraphrasing Ephesians the 6th chapter. All right. Dang, that's a nice title. Fight this fight alone. So let me go ahead and get it started. This is Galatians 6:4. It says, but let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. That don't mean put burdens on brothers either, You if everybody is trying to capitalize on those opportunities, you don't have to necessarily put burdens on brothers. Like there's things that'll happen. You'll mess around and pay all your bills and get a flat tire and might have to go to the treasury or go to the Akim and ask for help. That's cool. But if you're working and you get paid and you just gambling all your money away, or you buying all the latest shoes and fashion and all of that and not really tending to your bills and then going to the treasury or going, and asking brothers for help, that's completely different than handling your business and then going through something versus putting yourself in something and not handling your business. All right. So it says, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And that's the thing. The Lord knows your true intentions. The Lord knows your true intentions, whether you're doing something in sincerity or doing something to be seen. All right. And also you're going to get out what you put in, and the Lord knows. It's like you can't, but I wanted to do, I wanted, hey, get it done, man. I'm going to be honest. As of late, that's what the Lord been showing me I got to do, is just get shit done. Yes, the Heavenly Father is very merciful. All right. Very compassionate. All right. Shows grace, shows love, very loving. He's a father, just as we, some of us has children. So how we are to our child, we get on them. It might make us feel a type of way, but we understand that it has to be done in order for them to walk correctly, man. Okay. So the Most High, hey, whatever a man soweth, that's what he's going to reap. It says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So you want to be investing in the Spirit, investing in YAHAWASHI, and not in yourself and not in this world. And here we go. This is the one I wanted right here. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And that's what it is. It's you want to be ready, when it comes to well doing, man. You don't want to pick and choose when you want to be a brother. Pick and choose when you want to show hospitality. It says to be utterly spiritless, to be wearied out, exhausted. So let us not be spiritless. Let us not be burnt out, be tired when it comes to well doing. All right. No, it's an opportunity. Use it as an opportunity. All right. Use it as an opportunity. Lay your treasures. That's laying your treasures up in heaven. showing hospitality to brothers, or helping brothers out, you know, doing the will of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. Ooh, through the Spirit, I just seen a word in the next. I remember reading the word opportunity somewhere, and I didn't know if I had it within my precepts or not, but it's in the next precept called YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. So I'm gonna read all of that through. Galatians 6:9, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. So you don't even just be a asshole, for lack of better words, to people outside of this truth, outside of this faith. All right, but you do good where you can do good. You know why? Because it brings light to the truth. All right, which I might get that next. I might get that precept next, because it's not about us. So what if that dude got you messed up? All right, yeah, I mean, hey, we're here to be rehabilitated in a sense. We're here to have a changing of the mind. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, we gonna get pissed off. We're not gonna capitalize on every opportunity. Sometimes you ain't gonna let your supervisor talk to you crazy, you know. But if you catch yourself after that moment, or dang, hey, I had a situation with a supervisor where I got a bad habit of, when I get frustrated, I walk off, thinking that de-escalate the situation, but over time, sometimes it can't escalate the situation, as I've learned. You know, as I walked off, and he's like, well, don't walk away saying boom, boom, boom. You know, and I like, well, at that time, I'm like, oh, so you challenging me. So I went back and said what I said. He said that I cussed at him. I'm like, I ain't cuss at you. But then when it all died down and I'm on my way to my machine and shit, I'm thinking like, dang, did I cuss? I was angry. I wasn't really thinking everything I was saying, da 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 da. So I went back to him, right? And I apologize. I said, look, I apologize if I did cuss. No, I said, did I cuss? And at that time he was like, honestly, I don't know. You was walking off and you kind of mumbling, and I'm like, well, I apologize if I did. You know, I'm just frustrated with blah 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 what's going on, and so we ended up squashing it. But it was really kind of weighing on my mind, man. But it's not. I could just say, well, fuck it, he ain't in the truth. But at the end of the day, we're trying to be perfect, man. We're striving for perfection. All right. The Lord took L's, man. You know, he had the power to not take any of those L's, but he took the L's for the mission. All right. So like it said in verse 10, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto those who are of the household of faith. I want to get well doing and opportunity real quick. This is what Kalos says: beautiful, handsome, excellent, eminent, choice, surpassing, precious, useful, suitable, commendable, admirable. There we go. Good, excellent in nature and characteristics, and therefore well adapted to its end, genuine, approved, precious, joined to the names of men designated by their office, competent, able, such as one ought to be. Like the Lord said, get able men. Get men who are able to do the job. Get the job done. All right? Not somebody who's going to act like he wants to get the job done. Praiseworthy, noble, honorable, conferring honor, beautiful by reason of purity of heart and life, and hence praiseworthy. I try to go over that because the Spirit said, go your ass back up and read it. And that's beautiful. Like it said, beautiful by reason of purity of heart and life, and hence praiseworthy. Moral good, morally good, noble, right? Affecting the mind agreeably, comforting and confirming. So this is that well doing. This is doing well, man. Doing things genuine, excellent in nature and character. You're not being an asshole. Like, hey, you know that, yeah, that's a humble brother. Hey, that brother, you know, your rapport is good about you, man. All right, let's get that etymology. I said etymology. Maybe I need to get the etymology of opportunity through the Spirit. It says due measure, a measure of time, a larger or smaller portion of time, hence a fixed and depth. It's in that moment. You can't skip them moments, man. You got to capitalize in those moments. The time when things are brought to crisis, the decisive approach waited for, opportune or seasonable time. Sometimes it's not going to be the time. You're going to be looking for the opportunity, and the opportunity going to present itself when it's supposed to. All right, it ain't like, man, I messed up, let me get that back. Hey, I had an opportunity, with my little ones, man, and I was thinking about that the other day, and because I procrastinated, now I can't get that moment back in what they wanted. So I'm kind of like trying to make up for it, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same, man. And that was for that moment. That was for that time. And you can only hope that that time can come back around, but you can't live life like that. That hoping that every opportunity come back around. No, just capitalize in those moments, man. All right, have your conduct in those moments. Be genuine in those moments. Be honorable in those moments, man. Okay? Show your true character in those moments. All right? Hoping that your character is good. So, with that, I want to grab this, and it's Peter's, because out through the Spirit, I just kept thinking of this. All right? This is 1 Peter 3 and 15. It says, but sanctify the Lord the Most High in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. For it is better, if the will of the Most High be so, that ye suffer for well doing than for evil. That's going back into showing it unto men, especially those in the household of faith. All right, that situation that I have presented with the supervisor. Okay, like I could have just said, man, fuck it, he ain't want to talk to me like that, and boom, like nah, but I told myself in particular, I said, I'm trying to work on my anger. I'm trying to, I told myself the thing that I was working on. It's how I'm going to work on those things if I'm reacting the same way, you know, reacting in anger and not caring about my conduct, man. Okay. And ultimately it's not for his praise or his eyes in a sense. It's because I'm trying to show you how about YAHAWASHI that I'm trying to change, man. That's what it was for. All right, it's for the gospel's sake. Where is that at? I don't want to get rid of that because that chapter was kind of going in. I don't want to forget that. Yep. This is 2 Corinthians 6 and 3. I'll go to 1. It says, we then, as workers together with him, beseech you also that ye receive not the grace of the Most High in vain. For he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in a time in Salakia, and in the day of salvation have I secured thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, and much patience and afflictions and necessities and distresses and stripes and imprisonments and tumults and labors and watchings and in fastings, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Spirit, by love unfeigned, which is sincere love, by the word of truth, by the power of the Most High, by the armor of righteousness on the right hand and on the left, by honor and dishonor, by evil report and good report, meaning people speak well of you and some people speak evil of you, right? As deceivers and yet true. Some people don't believe us, but the truth is the truth. As unknown and yet well known. As dying and behold, we live. As chastised and not killed. As sorrowful, yet always rejoicing. As poor, yet making many rich in faith through the truth, through the word of YAHAWASHI. All right, according to the will and spirit of YAHAWASHI, as having nothing yet possessing all things. We don't have everything, but we got this word, man. All right. So you don't want to give no offense that the ministry be not blamed. So it comes down to your conduct. Okay. How do people see you? You know, are you on the weekends, you throw your garment on? Oh, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Yeah. Mercy, mercy, grace, grace. And then you acting like the Christians. You just got one day and one period of time throughout that day where you acting so holy, and then as soon as you're done with that moment, you go to bed a nigga. All right, or is this truth actually in you, and you're trying to change through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, man? Okay, the ministry don't need to be blamed, right? As you can see right here, caption title, it says be ready for his coming, but I'm going to just skip down to Matthew 24 and 45. It says, who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his households, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Right? Find so doing. Not started, not just stop, but find so doing. Okay, meaning you're constantly was working on it until the Lord came back, man. Okay, you didn't take a hiatus. You didn't sit here and like, well, I got better things to do. I'll get back to that. Like, no, this is it. This is life. Okay, this is it. Like Michael Jackson said, you know. So you want to keep that good conduct. You want to keep the conduct as if the Lord's coming back tomorrow, right? Because this is, I think, this is the analogy of leaving the servants at home. Yeah. It says verse 43, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in which the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Right? Because that's what's gonna happen. So you gotta live like that. You don't know when the Lord is coming. The Lord did give us signs. That's why you want to give diligence to make your calling and election sure, as the scriptures say, man. All right. Do this thing diligently. Okay. Continuing in it. All right. Be consistent in it. Be disciplined in it. That's how you be a disciple. That's how you be a follower. The Lord, he rocked the mission out into the end of it. So we gotta have that same mindset. I don't know what I had. Okay, yeah, that's into something different. So, yeah, man. So Lord willing, I was edifying through the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, I wasn't all over the place. Like I said, I was kind of struggling thinking of certain precepts and everything. But Lord willing, the point got across. We this truth is not situational. We gotta be not weary and well doing. That'll probably be the title of this lesson. You know, be not weary and well doing, man. And that definition for well doing is so beautiful. All right, because it goes into your character and how you operate in yourself, man. Okay, did you capitalize on those opportunities? You know, did you even think of those opportunities and like, oh, no, I ain't gonna. And that's just showing who you are, you know. If I'm whether you at work, whether you in your neighborhood, you know, of course within the brotherhood, you know, all of that matters according to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. But more so, like I said, more so those are the household of faith. But it comes down to you and your character. You know, are you keeping it? Are you honest amongst the brethren, but lying to everybody else in your life? No, it doesn't work like that, man. You gotta. Those impurities are within you. If that's the case, and you're not pure, all right. So yeah, with that, once again, Lord willing, you was edified, and Lord willing, we allowed to endure to the end. And once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. And once again, also double honors unto our apostle, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Hey, Shalom.